everybody, this is Jake again with a Sama Elite video lesson, and today we're going to be talking about a little bit about left hand legato. I'm going to show you a very helpful exercise that will help you get your left hand very accurate and also sounding very legato, which of course is the concept of the notes connecting and flowing into one another. So just like the previous lesson, this is from the very famous Pumping Nylon book by Scott Tent. If you don't have it yet, please get it because we're going to be doing a few exercises out of his daily warm-up routine. Today we're going to talk about the one called left hand walking. And if you have the book, sometimes it's not enough just to read the book. I want to show you exactly how you should be doing this and how to get the most out of it. So for example, on page 48 we have left hand walking kind of version number 1. And you can see it's just a very simple exercise where you kind of just walk your finger down the fret on each string. And of course, this is a left hand exercise, so make sure to not pay too much attention about the right hand. Find the simplest right hand finger you can. Of course, I'm doing P for the treble strings and I-M-A for the, or P for the bass strings and I-M-A for the treble strings. So here's the exercise again. What you want to do is listen for the sound that you're making, because that is the point of the exercise, to get a really accurate left hand that is very legato. So what you don't want is something like this. Very short notes. That's not really the point of the exercise. What you want is to walk the finger instantaneously to the next note to where there's no gap. And what you want to do, of course, is to look at your finger as you're doing it. Try your best to connect the notes. You go a little bit slower even. How about like this? That's simple enough to do with one finger, and of course in the book it asks you to do with every finger. So even with the second finger, get on the second fret. Do your best to connect each of these notes. And remember, it's not a speed exercise, so just carefully and accurately place your finger on the next note. Let me just show you the third finger. Here's the fourth finger. Sometimes the trickiest one to control. And you can see I'm trying to hold the note to the very last possible moment before I switch to the next note. And of course, as with any technical exercise, make sure to do this a few times so you're very, very comfortable with it before you go on. Because as you can see, in kind of example number 2 of this exercise, he asks you to do the same notes but with different fingers. And here's where the legato factor really comes in. It's almost a little bit easier to make legato because you're actually walking your fingers down the fret. And with this kind of version of the exercise, I try to tell students to make sure that they go nice and slowly, nice and carefully, and always watch out for the thumb position on the back of the neck, because you don't want to kind of hook over like this and stay there the whole time. You can end up gripping the guitar, kind of like a folk guitar manner. So when you're doing this, get a really good left hand position, thumb on the back of the neck, flat on the back of the neck, and as you're going along down the fret, make sure to transfer your thumb down. Scoot it down a little bit. As always, make those notes very legato. Transfer the thumb down a little bit. A great teacher once told me that when you get to the 3rd string, when you're starting on the 6th string, going to the 1st string, when you get to the 3rd string, that's when you really have to make sure you move your thumb down, because at that point your wrist angle gets a little bit off. So that was the 1st and 2nd finger. Just like with the other exercise, he wants you to do the next fret. So here's the 2 middle fingers, 2 and 3. Nice and easily walk them down the guitar and back up again. It'll really help you develop a really nice control of the fingers, so that when you go to play passages in music, your fingers do exactly what you want them to do. They can obey practice this exercise a lot. And of course, 3 and 4 is a tricky combination, so spend a lot of time on it. Get your thumb in a nice position, go nice and slowly, make sure none of the notes buzz, make any weird sounds, make sure that you get right on the fingertip every time. If you do something like this where you're getting flat, buzzing starts to happen, which is what you don't want, so get your thumb in a really good position and get on the fingertip. It really is good for finger independence as well, making fingers do different things, opposing motions. And as you can see in number 3 here of this left-hand walking exercise, in order to up the challenge level, he adds little rhythmic variations. So instead of doing it in constant rhythm like this, you do it in dotted rhythms. Just to up the challenge level to make sure you can really make every note clear while moving just a tad bit faster. And do that, of course, with every finger combination. 2 and 3. And 3 and 4. And as always with 3 and 4, go a little bit slower so you're really comfortable with it. Alright, so that was my explanation of the left-hand walking exercise from Scott Tennant's Pumping Nylon book. As with everything, if you see me around the studio and you have any questions, please ask. I'd be happy to help. So, happy practicing.